What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're back. We're better than ever. And football is officially over. And you know what that means? It's our time to shine. Until October, we're going to be here every single day giving you Chicago Cubs news. I am Mike Hughes, a.k.a. The Shy Kid. You are listening to the Give Us a Shot network affiliated with iHeartRadio. And I'm here with the man, boots on the ground right now in Mesa, Arizona. Kyle is set up, man. Kyle, how you feeling, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to chat with the newly trimmed and shaven Mike Hughes. Looks
Don't get
good,
used
man.
to it. Don't get used to it because now, opening day, you're gonna see me show up with a giant red beard standing alongside
Red.
the
Oh,
dugout.
wow.
I'm
Is
gonna
this
get the
because of
giant.
Justin Turner?
Yes, it is. So just moments ago, we heard the news. Justin Turner
Yeah.
is officially a Chicago Cub. Now, obviously, this is a huge pivot from Alex Bregman. You have been there. I saw all your videos going around, and we're going to put the link in the description below. You can check out Kyle stalking Jed Hoyer as he's running
Oh,
around on
boy.
his phone. Not
Strong
stalking,
words. Strong words.
not stalking, more so hanging around, I guess we could say.
Yeah. I'm just
But
giving the people what they want, Mike.
dude, and it's been a blast to see you be able to not only do what you're doing, but to connect with people that you actually know. We saw your lovely daughter take a picture with Ian Happ. Now Ian seemed way more excited about that picture than she did.
Smile with his teeth. How about that?
Now, it's very rare. I don't even think we get that on the MLB portrait. So
Yeah.
definitely got a rare one there. But how's your time been so far, man?
Dude, it's a blast out here. I mean, it's of course the weather is perfect, 75, sunny all day. But outside of that, man, you get to bring the wife and kid out to the ballpark. My wife is just so good at making the players feel like guilty of not holding our daughter. So that was on her birthday, by the way. Saya signed a ball for my daughter on her birthday. I've never seen Saya sign before. And then Ian Happ comes over and holds her. And I'm like, I've never seen Ian do anything like that. And then Miguel Amaya did the same thing. And I was just like, you're such a ham when it comes to that stuff. So she loves it. But it's great memories, man. And it's something I hope we can keep on doing.
No, for sure, without a doubt. And I saw Ballesteros and you guys actually got to catch up.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? Because obviously you did that with your wife, which I thought was a little tear jerker right there. I was very amazed at what you guys were able to do together as a couple, to kind of be in that space, and you got to actually meet him in person. So what was that relationship like for you to actually get a chance to talk to him?
Yeah, you get these guys on the show, and I'm sure you're used to it, and you never know, like, hey, is that gonna be the last time I ever talk to them, or are they gonna be like cool about either seeing me in person or like in my DMs, like saying, hey, send me that video, and that's what Moises has been like. Like I got a few things of him, got the home run from live batters, and he saw me, and I was like, hey, you want to see that? And so I showed it to him. He's like, hey, send me that, and so his mom, his dad, and him, like they've been DMing me, and then we finally just were walking down this street down here where the Cubs complex is located called Rio Salado, and he's coming out. He's FaceTiming with someone, and he hangs up, and he comes and talks to me, and Gracie meets Madeline, my daughter, and that was a pretty cool moment. So
That's amazing.
I'm really pulling for him. Hopefully he can. I don't think he's gonna be cracking the roster to start the season, but I think at some point he could make an impact on this team. That would be really fun.
Yeah, without a doubt. I don't hope Carson has the same experience Tucker Barnhart did, but it definitely could be a possibility. You know what I mean? Like those are real conversations.
He's looked good, by the way. I've really liked watching Carson Kelly, not just in batting practice, but in the live pictures as well. I think he had a home run off of Ben Heller. Those are two names, by the way. Brad Keller, Ben Heller. That's really tough.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I'm excited to see what Carson's going to be able to do. Obviously, PCA spoke highly on him yesterday about how having a veteran catcher in the ball club is going to be important, and he's more focused on things like October than Gold Gloves. So I think PCA is saying all the right things right now. But we're going to get back to the breaking news really quickly. Justin Turner to the Chicago Cubs. Kyle, what does that mean for you? You've gotten a chance to work with Matt Shaw, obviously, have conversations with him over the last few weeks, and you've been recording all of his VPs. What does it look like for him moving forward? Not only to know that he has the green light to be the everyday starting third baseman, but now you have a veteran in the room who's done it, who can help mentor you along the way.
Yeah, and I don't think that Justin Turner is going to be in competition with Matt Shaw. I think he's at this point first base. You see a lot of I think Bob Nightingale just tweeted out like, oh, they didn't get Bregman. Now they've got their backup in Turner. I'm like, backup as a first baseman, yes,
Yeah.
but I don't
Damn
know
it,
about.
Bob.
Yeah. So I think for sure when you talk about mentorship, huge. And when you look at the third base situation for the last few years, who has been there to really help these guys outside of infield coach Jonathan Moda? I don't know that there is someone. So it's nice to have a player on the team. We always talk about pitchers being, kind of in that role of like, hey, they could, Kyle Hendricks probably going to the Angels. I bet you a lot of Angels fans and Angels experts are like, well, at least he can, mentor these guys on the pitching staff. I don't think we talk about it as much on a fielding perspective, and especially for a young prospect like Matt Shaw, I think that's huge. So you bring up a really, really good point. I've been an advocate for Justin Turner the last couple of years as he's been a free agent. He went to Boston, then he went to Seattle. We're getting the 40-year-old version of him where, he hit 11 home runs last year. I think I saw 737 OPS. That's still solid off the bench. I'll take a 730 to 750 OPS off the bench any day, especially given the look of the current bench. You don't really see a whole lot of thump, especially now with Turner. I got to imagine Canario is going to find himself on another team in the next couple of weeks. I just don't see where there's room for him.
Yeah.
When it was an outfield situation, I didn't see it. Then they're trying to force him over to first base. And it's like, really, we're a month away from games and you're going to try to force this guy over to first base. Didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So, I think it's great for Matt Shaw. I think it leaves room for Alexander Canario to go to a team where he can actually play. And to me, now you're looking at like who gets that 26th spot. Vidal Brujan, Gage Workman. I don't really know, but it almost feels like there's maybe even room for another one, especially if we see this deal. Kike Hernandez got $6.5 million. That probably means Justin Turner maybe is going to be in that, I don't know, 6, 8, 9, maybe pushing 10 million. That would be a surprise given the fact that he'll be a backup. But that still leaves room for another guy. So can there be another bench piece that's stronger than, a Vidal Brujan or a Gage Workman?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm still looking at it right now, trying to find out how much money he's going to be making. That hasn't officially dropped from my understanding.
Right.
But what we're looking at right now is a guy who is a replacement for Patrick Wisdom, who is a replacement for Nick Madrigal. And by the way, really quickly, because I wasn't able to go live over the weekend, Mets fans, be nice to the kid. Be nice to Nick Madrigal. Not everybody gets the Juan Soto treatment. Not everybody gets a giant billboard saying welcome. If he has to use a Cubs duffel bag to head to spring training, let him. And if anything, be mad at Steve Cohen, multi-billionaire, can't get my guy a duffel bag. But we're looking at a situation right now for this infield that to me just got a lot deeper. With Nico Horner, obviously, potentially not being ready by opening day. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. It's a little too early to tell. What have you seen from him thus far from the eye test? Not just from what we've seen in reports, but him just taking infield drills, obviously a little bit of BP. What have you seen so far?
Well, don't ask Twitter what I think of that because they'll yell at me. But I did post, I don't know if you saw, I posted a video of Nico. He took about 30 ground balls and he did one of two things. He would either roll the ball to the side or he would backhand if he was close enough to a coach at second base, basically simulating double plays.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he gets a ground ball towards first base and you could tell he wanted to throw and then he kind of stopped. And all I said on Twitter was just like, hey, to me, this, as a former baseball player, anytime you can get that dopamine hit of like, hey, I want to hit that guy in the chest, I want to feel that throw, that's always like something that I don't care if you're, doing a drill or not. If you're healthy, you're making that throw. And we all know that he's trying to work his way back. And I don't think that there's any level of me saying like, okay, because he's not making that throw, he's not starting on opening day. But it just showed like, hey, he's still pretty for a 30-foot throw sidearm that he's not wanting to make. That tells me that he's still got some time to go. So I think it would be a shock to me right now if he played in Tokyo. Give another, 10, 11 days after that, maybe opening day. But I'm not a doctor. I'm not talking to the team. I'm not talking to trainers. No one's telling me anything.
It's just the eye test.
Just the eye test. Yeah.
It's just the eye test. We got to leave Kyle alone. He's giving us great information. But no, I think, a lot of fans get upset with people like us who kind of break this news or kind of give our opinions on it, because if it's not a positive thing, then we're viewed as hating. And I think sometimes it's just the situation at hand. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's
being realistic.
okay. It's
Yeah.
okay if we don't make the opening day roster. We're not saying Nico Horner isn't going to be available. I'm sure Nico Suave will be in full effect by July. But I think that's kind of just where we're at. And especially guys like Steele, guys like Imanaga, you can't just go out there and just ramp 95 miles an hour. And for a guy recovering from an offseason injury, it's even slower. Sometimes you got to go back to the baby steps and the fundamentals just to be able to get to where you need to be, especially for a Gold Glove caliber second baseman. But
and I'd add to that too, Mike. I
sure.
think I'm more concerned about the bat for him, because when you're trying to swing, when you go from instantaneous, like, hey, I'm not sure if I'm swinging, to swinging, that's
Mm-hmm.
that's a quick twitch reaction.
Yeah,
Whereas if he gets a ground ball to him, he's already thinking to himself, okay, I'm getting ready to throw the ball, right?
without a doubt.
And so I would like to see some dry swings. I'd like to see some batting practice. Haven't seen any of that yet. Now, whether that's going on in the complex, behind the scenes in batting practice where I can't
Yeah.
see it, I don't know.
Now that would not, I do believe a lot of things probably are happening behind closed doors right now. But one of the big ones, it was public. It had a horrible orange background I saw yesterday for whatever reason. Don't know who made that in Major League Baseball, but Kyle Tucker, first time in a Cubs uniform. You got a chance to see it. Just take me through the vibes around camp about him in the Cubs uniform, him being present. I saw he did get a chance to take Steele deep the other day. So what was that like to
Well,
catch him on camera?
he didn't take him deep. He got close. Probably would have honestly been a fly out to left field, but it hit the warning track and was in the air long enough to where it probably would have been caught. But it was close.
Okay.
Yeah. So on Sunday I wasn't here. He tracked balls. He wasn't swinging at all. And then yesterday I was here, and the very first pitch he saw from Steele, he swung and hit a very deep ball to left field. I ended up seeing 4 bats from him yesterday. Struck out twice, once against Brazier, once against Ben Heller, and then popped out against Tyson Miller. So looked really good in the outfield. I was actually just talking about this in my daily little vlog that I'm doing out here on my channel. But he's got a very interesting throwing motion. It's not quite as ugly as, like Hunter Pence, but it's not quite as fluid as, call it a PCA kind of throw. But he hits his target, man. It's a cannon, and so very fun and fluid to watch in the outfield. And there's just a lot of buzz around him. There's a ton of people out here every morning trying to get autographs, and I think, comparing my experience to last year where there was only 2 or 3, I think a lot of that has to do with Kyle Tucker.
Without a doubt. Now, I do kind of want to ask you from a fan perspective, does it feel different? Because I know for us,
Yeah.
since the trade of the core, it really hasn't felt like we had that franchise guy. Now, there was a week
Yeah.
or two where I was like, yo, Frank Schwindel might be the guy. But I couldn't
think
tell
we
you
all
where
hope for
Frankie
that.
is today.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely a situation where I know a lot of people feel like you could have had Cody and Kyle Tucker together. But really just kind of taking that conversation aside, because I'm tired of hearing about it. The difference is Kyle Tucker still being 28 years old. Obviously, it's a 1-year deal. But do you feel like if this is a long-term partnership between him and the Cubs, this is your guy that you're going to go in with? Like, this is our number one guy.
I mean, I think, especially with Jed showing that, hey, we'll sign Bregman to a 4-year, $120 million deal. I think that they're willing to do and put a deal out there for him. But if he has a decent season, I mean, he's going to look at Juan Soto and he's going to be like, listen, Soto's got contact and power. I got speed. I got fielding. I got the arm. He's a 5-tool player. Like, I was talking to Cole Wright about this yesterday, and, you all can love on Juan Soto because of the numbers and everything, but like, he literally has 2 tools, and Kyle Tucker has 5 tools.
Yeah.
Now, let me back up for a second, because I haven't looked at Kyle Tucker's contact rate, and I know Juan Soto's is through the roof. But I mean, I don't know if Kyle Tucker puts up a 35 home run year, especially at Wrigley Field, which we all know is tough for lefties. Gets a Gold Glove and has an OPS of over 850. I mean, he's gonna have suitors out there for 10 years, $400-500 million, and it's just crazy. And I don't think that we'll be in play for that. Just based on, you've seen it this offseason. Jed, by the way, I've flipped my perspective of Jed based on people within the organization that I talk to. I think Jed is actually very good at his job. He just has a lot of handcuffs on him. Um, and for that reason, it's like, man, if Jed was with the Dodgers, if Jed was with the Mets, like, who knows what he could do. Jed
Right.
has cut payroll this offseason and made us a clear-cut division winner. Last year, we were kind of convincing ourselves that we're division winners, right? Hey, well, 2023, that second half, if we can carry that into 2024,
Yeah.
plus we
Hector
re-signed Cody.
Neris. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Hector Neris, and this year he improved the starting rotation. You can say what you want. We should have gotten another starter. I absolutely think we should
Sure.
have. He 100% improved the bullpen, not just with impact, but with depth. He had 100% improved the starting nine. And it looks like he's, to me, a much better bench right now, even if we started the season today, because you're not talking about Nick Madrigal. You're not talking about Miles Masterbone. You're not talking about Patrick Wisdom. And he did this all with cutting payroll. So can Kyle Tucker fall in love with Chicago and say, hey, listen, because the CBA is coming up, just get me through the CBA and give me an opt out and we can renegotiate? Yeah, I mean, I think he could, but I think the fact that he was very vocal about I'm not signing any extensions once I get traded. We kind of are joking about it over here at spring training. He's allergic to a pen because he won't sign autographs either yet.
Wow.
But I just think that he's going to go for the best deal. Yeah. And I don't know that we're going to be in play for that. And it's sad to say. It's sad to say, but that's where I think we're at realistically.
No, and I can't even blame you, because you also look at a conversation about, the New York Yankees obviously acquiring Cody Bellinger might not be the last Cub they want to get in after. They obviously lose Juan Soto, and they're going to have to replace that at some point to be able to get back to the World Series. For me, if I'm looking at a $600 million deal that the Yankees offer me, and I got that short porch out there in right field, and I'm hitting
home run season.
Yeah, 45 to 50 home run season. I mean, that's really where I'm at right now. I think it's going to be really hard to compete with that, obviously. But, we'll have to wait and see. But we got a couple more for you before we let you go. Big one here. I know it's one of your favorite things, one of my favorite things. Prospect Watch. Who has been that guy for you that, hey, I know we've been seeing a lot of PCA, a lot of Michael Busch, a lot of James Triantos. Even if it is one of those guys, who's been the guy for you that you've been watching so far that you think is going to surprise a lot of people come spring training next week?
I mean, Moises Ballesteros is incredibly fun to watch it. You guys can go to my channel and see. I did some live batting of him, but also on my X account back on, I want to say it was February 8th or 9th. It was just like 3 or 4 live hitting sessions in a row where it was just like slaps a single the opposite way, hits a home run down the right field line, lines one over the second baseman's head, hits a bullet to center field, one hops the center field wall, and it's like, and then like strikes out one at bat. And it's like, man, I think he just literally went like 6 for 8. and like he just makes it look really easy. So he's a lot of fun. I really like Ben Cowell's glove. I haven't seen much from him from a batting standpoint, but his glove looks really good. Gage Workman is huge, by the way. I didn't realize how big he was. He literally looks like, just picture Patrick Wisdom, but add another like 2 to 3 inches of height and a little bit thinner. I was watching this guy. I was like, who is that? And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, dude, that's Gage Workman. So haven't seen much from him. Trying to think if I'm missing anyone. Triantos has looked pretty good. Kevin Alcantara, he hit that home run off of Shota the other day. That was interesting to see. I don't know if you saw yesterday. I did see Owen Casey come off the field a little bit early during outfield drills, so hopefully he's okay. It looked like he was kind of complaining about something that was bugging him, but I couldn't tell if he was favoring anything. But I really think that Alcantara or Casey are probably going to be the guys that would be called up the quickest.
Sure.
And assuming that Matt Shaw makes the opening day roster, by the way. And then I think the wild card is, Ben Brown and Cade Horton. If you get Ben Brown, Cade Horton, and heck throw Luke Little into that category, healthy for even, call it 3/4 of the season, think about what that does to your bullpen and your rotation. That's exciting to think about.
For sure. Now, before we get you out of here, we do have one more. Obviously, the trade game is very tricky. We talked a little bit about Canario, but I'm curious for you, how important this Tokyo trip and also spring training is going to be for James Triantos, whether that's to make a case that Nico Horner should be the guy to go, or make a case that, hey, my trade value is at its highest after a strong spring training. Maybe he ends up being a move for another starting pitcher. What do you think this spring means for James Triantos, who over recent years has kind of seemed to be blocked behind Nico and Dansby?
I think you build up a really good prospect group and a really good farm for one of two reasons. One, to see them come up like all the 2015, 2016 Cubs did and contribute and become superstars. Or two, you say, hey, there's value with you, but it might be more value on another team. And for that reason, you're a really good trade target. And I think if the Cubs had gotten Bregman, and then probably Nico is the guy to be traded, then Triantos had some version of hope here with this organization. I just think, and this goes for Casey, this goes for Alcantara, this goes for Moises, this goes for Triantos, this goes for a lot of guys. In this year, I don't know how you fit all of these guys on this roster unless there are significant injuries, significant meaning out for 3 to 4 weeks. Because the gap between the MLB and AAA is bigger than it's ever been. And bringing up Casey for, a 10-day IL stint for Ian Happ might happen, but how effective
it's very Matt Mervis-y, you know what I mean?
Like, well, that I would even say like Alexander Canario, where it's just like, okay, you might get like a handful of at bats and you might get a taste, but if we're doing this up and down thing this entire year, I don't know, man. To your initial question, though, James Triantos feels like he has a lot of value that can be for another team.
I'm with it. Kyle, man, we appreciate you. Boots on ground. I love what you're doing right now, man. If you guys haven't checked up Setup Man Kyle right now, you can check him out on all social media platforms. Pretty much at that handle, Setup Man Kyle. There's not another. There's another shy kid out there, Kyle. So I have to kind of put that out there sometimes. I have to be the shy kid because somebody won't sell it to me. Man, we appreciate you being here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, you guys can always check him out at the Setup Man Kyle or over here at the Give Us a Shot Network. We have Kyle on from time to time. Hopefully we'll have him on throughout the season. I want that beard dyed red by tonight so I could see you when Justin Turner officially comes back. You got to do it for me, man. I'm not there yet. It would just be weird. It would just be weird right now. But until then, man, we'll check you guys out next time. Again, Justin Turner is a Chicago Cub, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be doing a full breakdown on that later today when we get the financials of it. Until then, peace.
Give them a shot to do what?